Let's rate all 7 Harry Potter books from worst to best. It goes without saying, I love every single one of these books so much. Each one contains numerous things that makes it special and unique in its own great way. But as with everything, I've got a favourite, a least favourite, and an order for everything in the middle. So let's discuss. I have done this video before, but it was ages ago. The video is incredibly outdated, and thanks to you absolute legends supporting the account, we've got a load of new people here who probably haven't seen it, which gives us the perfect excuse to do it again, but better. Please drop a like on the video, smash that subscribe button, and comment your ranking for the Harry Potter books. But for now, let's get straight into it and rank the Harry Potter books from worst to best. Number 7, The Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix contains one of the best villains in the series in Dolores Umbridge, one of the best battles in the series in Dumbledore vs Voldemort, and my personal favourite chapter in the entire series in the Lost Prophecy chapter where Dumbledore finally tells Harry about the prophecy. So I by no means don't like this book. However, this list had to have a last place, and my reason for it being last is the same reason that I think many Potter fans share, and that's that it's just a bit too long. Well, sort of. You see, I love details, so a book being too long should never be an issue for me. What's really the problem here is that the least interesting book with regards to its main plot was the one chosen to be the longest in the series. You see, the main plot of this book throughout is Harry and his classmates rebelling against Umbridge and just generally disliking her. And while she is absolutely awful, that means you can kind of dumb down the book to a bunch of students don't really like the head teacher, which isn't that exciting when you consider the stuff we get up to in the other books. Now I know what you're probably thinking, there's a whole nother plot going on in Order which is so much better and more exciting, with the Order and the Department of Mysteries and the stuff going on with Voldemort lurking in the shadows, and I 100% agree, that is the main thing in the book. The problem you've got, however, is that this book set out to make Harry feel lonely and isolated, which was the correct thing to do because that's how Harry should have been feeling in that moment. But unfortunately it means that to achieve this, he can't be exposed to all of this super interesting stuff that's happening in the background. He has to feel like he's cut off from it, which means that us, the readers, also have to go through this too. So for me, this book's biggest problem is that the thing that should be the fun side quest of this story, which is all the Umbridge stuff, becomes the main focus, and we don't get to spend that much time enjoying the super interesting stuff until the very end, which I'd just rather see. Number 6, The Chamber of Secrets. Chamber really is the Marmite of the Harry Potter series, isn't it? Both the book and the movie version seem to be either super high or super low on every Potter fan's lists. And I'm sorry Chamber fans, but it's the latter for me. Whilst I do find the plot to be more entertaining than our last entry, it just doesn't hit the spot for me in the way that other books do. And the main reason for that is that I've always just found Chamber on its own to feel really side questy. Obviously we destroy a Horcrux in the end, which is massively important to the running plot of the series, but outside of that, it's filled with loads of new characters who are significant in this book, but not too much going forward. For example, Lockhart, Moaning Myrtle, and Colin Creevey. We face a one and done enemy in the form of the Basilisk that doesn't really have much significance after this point, apart from its tooth, I guess. And even the memory of Tom Riddle. Harry stabs the diary and boom, it's just gone. It really feels like things pop up for the Chamber of Secrets book, we deal with them, and they aren't really relevant again, which is fine, but the other books contain more cliffhangers or running plot lines that spill over into the next book or follow on from the last book. So Chamber for me is super fine, I do like the plot, but it always feels like a slight detour before getting back on track with the main story. Not my favourite. Number 5, The Philosopher's Stone. Okay, I think this could be a brief one because I love The Philosopher's Stone. I love the story, I love the nostalgia. It is the perfect introduction to a magical series. And the reason it's quite low on this list is because of understandable and almost unavoidable reasons. It was just limited in what it could do and what it could be compared to the rest. You see, it's book 1. It had to contain a certain level of vanilla, entry-level content to just establish the world we're going to be entering and spending so much time in. Whilst it does introduce us to some really cool stuff like spells, people, and places, it was too early to delve into the true lore and details that just make me love the later books that little bit more. On a similar note, it is a bit short for me. Not every book has to be a literal doorstop, but at just just 17 chapters. There are a few too many times where we just get these humongous time leaps throughout the book, just because we've got to get to the end of the school year in a limited amount of time. If I had to nitpick one thing I don't love about this plot, is that the big secret reveal of Quirrell being behind it all along at the end is just a little bit too obvious for me. I mean, unless you're a younger reader, you can probably work out that Snape is being portrayed as the big red herring who they're trying to tell us is behind it, but he's never really going to be the one behind it because it's just too obvious. And every single other clue basically leans then to Quirrell having to be the one who's trying to steal the stone. But that's being picky. It's still a fun reveal and a great plot, and I still love it as a perfect opening book. Number 4, The Prisoner of Azkaban. And at the halfway stage, my favourite movie's place in my book ranking can be summed up very easily. One of my absolute favourite plots, but when you compare it to the 3 books we still have to go in this list, it's so much shorter than them that by default it just falls below them. I love the story of this book. The suspense of constantly feeling on edge, Harry seeing the grim, Harry constantly hearing these stories about just how evil Sirius Black was, and painting the picture of the Marauders and their significance to his life and his family and his dad. You're constantly on edge in a way that hasn't happened before, because there's always been jeopardy in the other 2 books, but it's never been quite as linked to Harry as it is in this book. Of course, what's the real star of this book though is the incredible plot twist ending, which contains not just one plot twist, but loads. Lupin's a werewolf, Sirius Black's innocent, Pettigrew's alive, Pettigrew's evil, Snape was there all along. The Shrieking Shack chapters in The Prisoner of Azkaban are some of the best in the entire series, and if it weren't for the fact that this book is just a little bit shorter than some of the awesome later entries, so just can't quite include the same level of detail, it would definitely be in my top 3, but still an absolutely brilliant book, and there's a reason it's my favourite movie, because the plot is so fun. Number 3, The Deathly Hallows. It's hard to get a better finale to a magical series than The Deathly Hallows. It managed to achieve the perfect blend between big epic final battle, but also still including fun lore related details, with stuff about the Deathly Hallows and the Horcruxes, and the bond of magical blood. Deathly Hallows is an incredibly satisfying ending to the story. There is still pain and tragedy, and action and adventure, whilst knowing that we're probably going to conclude the series with Harry defeating Voldemort, but genuinely not knowing how we're going to get there because of how unachievable destroying Horcruxes seems. I love the first half of the book with the trio basically just exploring, trying to put together any tiny clues to discover where Horcruxes are and how to destroy them. Breaking into the Ministry and breaking into Gringotts are some of my favourite book moments, and whilst I'm not a huge big battle person, I do enjoy the Battle of Hogwarts because it's not just constant fighting, there is loads of other stuff going on as well. Finding the diadem, witnessing Snape's death, and one of the best moments in all the books, the pensive scene. It genuinely is a crazy revelation that contributes on its own massively to this book being in my top 3. I'll be honest though, it is still a bit of a dip between my top 2 books, for the main reason being that it just isn't quite the same. And that's not even a criticism of this book, it makes sense that most of this book took place outside of Hogwarts, and that when we do go to Hogwarts it's not just a normal regular school year. It's just, I love Harry Potter for the whole cozy Hogwarts vibe. Going to school, going to classes, learning spells, your typical teenage dramas, and then you get all your action and stuff at the end. This book is never going to be my absolute favourite because it doesn't fit the mould of a typical Harry Potter reading experience, but that doesn't mean that it's still not absolutely brilliant at what it's trying to achieve, which is why for me 3rd place is absolutely perfect. Number 2, The Goblet of Fire. When I tell you that trying to separate my top 2 on this list is nearly impossible, I'm not lying. We've left the best till last for sure. Goblet of Fire is an exceptional book because the plot is just perfect. I love mystery, and the mystery of who put Harry's name in the goblet is absolutely phenomenal. I love drama and action, and this is achieved in this book through a really unique way with the Triwizard Tournament. Something completely different that once again breaks the mould from a regular Harry Potter book. It gives us drama, it gives us suspense, it builds to the mystery, it gives us a reason to introduce new characters. It's fantastic. And I love the one-off characters or near one-off characters in this book so much. Barty Crouch, Ludo Bagman, Winky. And of course the ending is absolutely phenomenal. There is a reason why so many Potter fans look at The Goblet of Fire as being the book that takes us from kind of happy but kind of dangerous kids series to oh my goodness this is getting serious. The ending with Cedric dying, our first real tragic tragic death, being followed by the Dark Lord returning, but also you still get your awesome Harry moment because he just about escapes, but you know that he's not really escaped because Voldemort achieved his main goal of the night, which was to return to his body. It's a brilliant, thrilling ending, but also a cliffhanger as to what on earth the books are going to look like from this point, with a full body Voldemort now back. I'll also give a shout out to chapter 1, The Riddle House. I really enjoy it. I know some people don't like it, but I think it's really clever that the idea of Voldemort having a plan is set up in the first chapter of this book, but I guarantee you the first time you read this book, you'll forget by the time that the graveyard stuff actually happens that you were literally told that Voldemort is putting a plan in motion. It's very clever. I can tell you right now, the only reason this book isn't first is just because of how much I love the final book on this list. Assuming that the final book is a 10 out of 10, this is literally a 9.9. I struggle to fault it. Brilliant stuff. Number 1, The Half-Blood Prince. Yeah, this book, in my opinion, is pretty much perfect. As I've already said, I do like action in books, but my main thing that I love in Harry Potter is detail and lore, and suspense and cliffhangers, and this book just is the master of it. So much of this book is about learning the context of Voldemort, his history, his delving into dark arts from a young age, his creation of Horcruxes, his reasoning for his actions, his reasoning for why he is who he is. So many pieces of the puzzle are put together in this book, whilst at the time we don't really know what's going on. We can appreciate what we're being told, but because we don't fully know about Horcruxes until later on, it's got an element of mystery. I also love Harry and Dumbledore chapters. They are my favourite chapters in the series. Dumbledore is such a fun character. Whether you love him or hate him, he is so interesting because you know that everything he says means something, but pretty much everything he says is cryptic. It rewards you for trying to work out what he's saying without just giving you the answers. I love the Draco Malfoy running plotline, and don't even get me started on how much I love the scene where Dumbledore is killed. We finish Half-Blood Prince in an incredible place going into the final book. We know enough information to be excited, and we actually do know what has to be done. We just have to destroy Horcruxes and we can kill Voldemort. But the real mystery is how on earth are we going to do it? We don't know where the Horcruxes are. We don't necessarily know what they are. We know that even if we identify those things, they're probably going to be really difficult to get hold of. And oh, you've got to do it all without Albus Dumbledore because he's now dead. And Severus Snape was the one to do it. This book as a standalone is fantastic, but it gets extra points when you consider that the main job of a penultimate book is to set you up for a brilliant finale, and it does that perfectly. Seriously, these two books are pretty inseparable for me. They are perfect in their own special way, but just because of what I slightly prefer as a reader, I put Half-Blood Prince on top. But that's my list. Please comment what your list is. Do you agree with mine? Do you disagree? Drop a like on the video, and most importantly, hit subscribe and turn on post notifications. Check out my link tree in my description because I also post loads of stuff over on TikTok too. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you later.